the New York Giants and Joe Schoen decided to stay put at the NFL trade deadline. We've seen Bradley Chubb get sent to the Miami Dolphins for a first-round draft pick. We've seen Chase Claypool, Steelers wide receiver, get sent to Chicago for a second-round draft pick. Roquan Smith, one of the best linebackers in all of football, on Monday gets sent to the Baltimore Ravens. But the New York Giants and Joe Schoen stay quiet. They stay put at the NFL trade deadline. And one thing I can't say about Joe Schoen is he's keeping up with his word. He said that he is, all about the future. He said that he wants to keep his draft picks and build this team the right way. He said he wants homegrown players. And, when we're looking at his 2022 NFL draft, we're looking at Dane Belton. We're looking at Daniel Bellinger. Them two guys were not first round draft picks. They were not. They were 4th and 5th round draft picks, and they have been big contributions to the New York Giants' success this season. Dane Belton has been, a pretty decent lockdown safety for us on defense. And Daniel Bellinger, in my opinion, has been Daniel Jones' best weapon outside of Saquon Barkley. So those two guys, though we still had to see more from them, it's really early in their careers, they're starting off pretty great for where they were drafted at. So Joe Schoen keeping that 5th round draft pick, he's showing that he values those picks. And I was on the fence of I wanted to go and get a wide receiver. But if the New York Giants were going to have to go out there and, overpay for a wide receiver, I was not down for that. Chase Claypool got sent for the Chicago Bears 2nd round draft pick, which is going to be very, very high. I was going to be pissed if the Giants made that move. There's no way Chase Claypool is worth at that high of a 2nd round draft pick. Brandon Cooks was, the report saying that the Texans wanted a 2nd round draft pick to start any conversation. I'm not trading a 2nd round draft for Brandon Cooks. He's, up there in age, kind of, 30 years old, 31, 29 years old, on a pretty big contract or a pretty big salary for next year. I think he had about $18 million. So I was not mad that the Giants didn't go out there and overpay for a guy. I wasn't, clamoring for a number 1 wide receiver. That's not me. I was not expecting the Giants to make that type of move. We're 6-2. We're looking great. And I think the Giants took the approach where if it's not broke, don't fix it. If it's not broke, don't fix it. And, I think that was some things that, some Giants fans got twisted. The New York Giants weren't going to go out there and make a move for DJ Moore. We didn't know what DJ Moore's, asking price was. We've seen that Chase Claypool went for that high of a 2nd round draft pick. I'm pretty sure the Panthers would have wanted a 1st round draft pick to start off any conversations. They declined a deal with the Rams for Brian Burns, and they were ready to give up 2 1st round draft picks, and they did not make that move. So, this trade deadline move of them not making a move, it's good. It's good. I can date this back to, or compare this to the 2020 NFL draft. Isaiah Simmons was the guy I was in love with. He was the guy that I was locked in on at pick 4. Was it pick 4 or pick 3? I want to say pick 4. I think Andrew Thomas picked that pick 4 by the New York Giants, but he was a versatile guy. He was a sexy pick out of Clemson. He could do it all. He's a freaking Swiss Army knife on defense. And the New York Giants and Dave Gettleman, shout out to Dave Gettleman, this is his best draft pick. You know what I'm saying? Andrew Thomas, they would have gone Andrew Thomas with the 4th overall draft pick. And on draft night, I was upset. I was like, hey man, I wanted Isaiah Simmons. He could have been a freaking generational linebacker for years to come. And if we're looking back at that day, the Giants made a good move in taking Andrew Thomas, who was, in my opinion, the best left tackle in all of football. So, am I mad about it? Was I mad about it then? Am I kind of upset about it now? Yeah, but if I look at the New York Giants in 2023, I'm looking at them having a 1st round draft pick. I'm looking at them having more cap space in 2023, though they have to, re-sign some guys to the roster. The Giants are going to have an opportunity to go out there and get a wide receiver. They're going to have an opportunity. I feel like Daniel Jones is the guy. I listened to, Joe Schoen's, little press conference after the trade deadline. I feel like he believes in Jones. I feel like he's locked in on Jones. I think Brian Dable loves Daniel Jones. So I feel like they're going to make sure and they're going to make it a, duty, an absolute duty to go out there and get Daniel Jones, his wide receiver. Because I was looking at, like I said, I was looking at the Eagles and how A.J. Brown just dominated versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. I want Daniel Jones to have that guy. I wanted to have that guy, and it's rather going to come from the draft or it's going to come out of free agency, and then you never know. 2023 might be the year where we make that move. But right now, I think the New York Giants overall made the right decision and not going out and, giving out draft capital for a wide receiver. I don't. They look at the money. Even though I said make the money work, you don't know what the calls were looking like. You don't know what the asking price for some of these guys were looking like. I think Joe Schoen did say that he had called several teams, but the price and what they wanted for these players didn't add up. And I'm glad that Joe Schoen didn't look at some Giants fans clamoring for a wide receiver no matter what and going out there and doing it. I can respect him for that. I love how Joe Schoen's building the team, though the real business starts in 2023 because that's going to be his actual first year overall throughout the offseason, all of that with the New York Giants. But like I said, I wanted a wide receiver. I was not clamoring for a #1 guy. I didn't expect the New York Giants to go out there and throw all the money, throw all the picks, and go out there and get a #1 wide receiver. Was not expecting that. The Giants didn't need to do that. I just wanted the Giants to go out there and get any wide receiver. I was starting to clamor for Kendrick Bourne, the New England Patriots wide receiver, for like a 5th-round draft pick, low contract, low risk, low contract, just to add on to the wide receiving room. Any wide receiver the Giants probably would have traded for today would have been our best wide receiver on the roster. I wanted to see Daniel Jones throw to better players. No disrespect to Marcus Johnson, no disrespect to David Sills. Darius Slayton is playing some pretty decent ball. Could he see himself back on a team-friendly deal with the New York Giants? Maybe after the season. But I just feel like Daniel Jones and this team with a pretty decent wide receiver in the offense could have created even more problems. But Joe Schoen and the New York Giants decided to stay put at the NFL trade deadline. I was mad about it then. I'm, right now in this video, I'm not the most happiest about it, but tomorrow, next Sunday, when we go against Houston, hopefully you get Kenny Golladay back. It's going to be in the back of my mind. It's going to be behind me because the Giants still have more games to win, and we don't got time to be worrying about these players that's not on our team. So that's really it. Like I said, the Giants decide to stay put. Joe Schoen keeps his draft picks. He, keeps up with his words, and he wants homegrown players. Let's see what he does with the second and with those late picks. Let's see what he does in the middle of the draft. Like I said, he's coming from a Buffalo Bills tree where they had some draft gems like Dawson Knox, who wasn't a second, or at least I don't think he was a second first-round draft pick. You know what I'm saying? So looking at that, I'm glad the Giants didn't go out there and overpay for one of these wide receivers. I'm really glad about that. That's why they're the GM, and I'm sitting here making YouTube videos about the Giants. But that's gonna do it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like, make sure you comment, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. And until then, it's been your boy Jay Dimes. Leave your thoughts down below on the Giants staying put at the NFL trade deadline. But I'm out. Go Giants. We out.